I never wanted to play Infinite Warfare. I was that guy, the Call of Duty purist, the elitist, the one who turned up his nose the moment he saw a jetpack. When the Infinite Warfare trailer dropped and got absolutely obliterated with dislikes, I nodded, like, yep, that tracks. I downloaded the beta, played one match, saw someone wall jump, wall run, space jump, whatever that was called, and I swear the map didn't even have gravity, and I deleted it on the spot. I didn't touch it again, never even installed the full game, just redeemed my code to get Modern Warfare remastered. That was it. That was always the plan. Until today. Fast forward to 2025. I'm doing a full franchise campaign playthrough on Veteran, every Call of Duty, no skipping, no excuses. So here I am, booting up Infinite Warfare for the first time. I'm not excited, I'm not curious, I'm just obligated. What followed? Well, that was a complete mental U-turn. So I present to you now my story, or rather my confession even, of how I went from hating Infinite Warfare to finishing the entire game in one sitting. And maybe, just maybe, realizing I was actually wrong. The stigma. Let's rewind to why Infinite Warfare got so much hate in the first place. 2016 was a weird time for Call of Duty. We were already several titles deep into the jetpack era of COD. Advanced Warfare had done it first, Black Ops 3 had followed it, and well, Lil Bro, Infinite Warfare, well, it was just a straw that broke the franchise's fan base's back. And Infinite Warfare, well, it was the straw that broke the fan base's back. The trailer was instantly memed, the dislikes poured in, people were done with future COD, and to be honest, I was leading the front line. I was one of them. Call of Duty had always been my gritty, boots on the ground, kinetic military fix. If I wanted sci-fi, I'd go play Halo, Gears, Battlefront. Games that were built from the ground up for that type of universe. COD? COD was supposed to be war. Real war. Boots hitting dirt. M4s, AKs, not laser rifles and anti-grav grenades. So I skipped it. As mentioned, I played the beta for all of 2 minutes, deleted it and moved on. That was my entire experience with Infinite Warfare for years. Until now. Booting up, first impressions. So here we are, first time actually playing the campaign on Veteran, obviously, and right out the gate, it throws me in. Instantly, I'm thinking this ain't so bad. It feels smooth, it feels familiar, but also clunky. There's a strange disconnect between the setting and the gameplay, like, the body knows it's Call of Duty, but the brain is screaming no, we're in space abort. Then the problems start stacking. Visual noise. I can't tell who's friendly and who isn't. Explosions, drones, orange lights in my fucking face. My teammates have pushed me out of cover. I swear half the time I'm getting shot in the back is by someone standing behind me who's on my fucking team. And the guns, whilst they feel familiar, they feel like BB guns. No impact, no weight. I'm dumping whole mags into enemies and they're still standing. And it never gets better. No matter what I pick, I feel like I'm tickling people to death with foam darts. There's also this moment, and it stuck with me. I had to get a lift over a wall from Ethan, and I just remember sitting there confused, like, I'm a fucking space marine. I can run the walls, I can boost over, I've got a fucking grappling hook. Why am I getting boosted over a waist-high ledge? The grind begins. About 45 minutes in, I hit the wall. This is the part where I really started hating it. Same recycled gameplay loop, same sponge enemies. I clear one corner only to get deleted from a guy I didn't see. Try again, clear him first, get shot by the original guy. I died 4 times in the same spot and just sat back in my chair like, why am I doing this? Then it tells me I have to play optional side missions to unlock the achievement. That was the tipping point, because I didn't want to play more of this. I didn't want to fly around in a jackal and shoot 3 more ships. I didn't want to hunt a named target because the game needed padding. I wanted it to be done. I even contemplated skipping cutscenes, just going through the motions. The game wasn't grabbing me. I wasn't invested, not in the world, not in the story, not in Reyes or Salter, or even at this point Ethan. Nothing. Until I was. The side mission twist. I can't even tell you what made me play the first side mission. Probably just force a habit, get the checkmark, move on. But it wasn't that bad. It was actually kind of fun. Dogfighting in space, targeting enemy ships, grappling into debris fields, shooting in 0G. It felt like a Star Wars minigame, and for the first time in my playthrough I wasn't annoyed. And had I played this in 2016, the 25-year-old me would have absolutely loved to have played a Star Wars game that was Call of Duty. So the only loser here was me. Sure, missions were samey. Destroy 3 things, then destroy 5, then intercept a target, but the game loop, surprisingly solid, clean, visually clearer, apart from one right at the end, easier to read than the main missions. There was one, even a stealth op I guess it was, there where we snuck on board a spaceship. There was even a stealth op that came close to being great, didn't quite stick the landing, but it was a rare moment where the game tried to do something different, and I was starting to feel something I hadn't felt in the first hour. Curiosity. One sitting, every mission. I finished the game in one sitting. No, really I did. It took me about 8 hours. Once I'd done a few of the side missions, I was in a better mood. I'd recentered my expectations. I wasn't trying to play the game like Modern Warfare 2 anymore. I let it be what it was. A sci-fi space shooter dressed up in a COD skin. And you know what? I started having a good time. Ethan stood out the most. The first companion character I gave a damn about since Ghost and Soap. He had personality, humour, heart, and he wasn't just comic relief, he felt real. And then the ending hit me. This might be the only Call of Duty where the protagonist dies and stays dead. There's no evac, no last minute escape. You lead your squad into certain death, and that's what happens, you die. And somehow that made it all land harder. It gave the story weight, purpose, and a reason to care. I was still a little bit confused about the whole story itself, but I put that down to playing all the side missions first. Final thoughts. So where does this leave me? I started Infinite Warfare expecting to hate every second of it, and for the first hour or so, I did. Then it clicked, not because the game changed, because I did. I stopped trying to force Infinite Warfare into the Call of Duty mold I grew up with. I let it be what it was trying to be, and even though it still has problems, the weak gun feedback, the visual clutter, the copy-paste mission design, it's not a bad game. I mean, it's not a great Call of Duty, maybe, but it's a good campaign. And here's the real kicker. If this exact game had dropped without jetpacks, with a more grounded setting, it might have easily made the top 5 of all time, just based on the campaign alone, and I'm serious about that. It was ahead of its time, or maybe just released at the worst possible time. when people were done with the future tech and Call of Duty fatitude had set in. But strip away the expectations, and you've got a story that ends with a sacrifice, a likable cast, and some genuinely fresh ideas. It was nothing like Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3. So I'm going to end with something slightly different. This is my challenge to you. If you've never played Infinite Warfare, give it a real shot. Play the campaign. Play a few side missions. Go in with an open mind, because the internet dogpile might have just ruined the game's legacy, but the game itself, it holds up a lot better than you think. And if you've already played it and still think it's trash, then fair enough, you've earned that opinion. But for me, I'm glad I gave it a second chance. I hated Infinite Warfare, with no solid reason to, until I didn't. And that's why it deserves its own chapter in the history of Call of Duty.